Hi, my name is Maggie Hughes, and today I'll be presenting Keeper, a synchronous online conversation environment informed by in-person facilitation practices. This project was completed by myself and Deb Roy, and we are at the Center for Constructive Communication at the MIT Media Lab. Keeper's design is informed by circle process. Circle process is a facilitation style in which a facilitator or circle keeper gathers a group. They leverage tools such as talking pieces to facilitate turn takings and enable deep and vulnerable sharing. And facilitator use different mechanisms such as a centerpiece and the prompts they design to invite participants to share stories from their personal experiences, foster connection with the group, and ground one another in that community and its values. Circle today is used often within the restorative and transformative justice movements that are in response to traditional punitive justice and mass incarceration in the US. Circle originates with Indigenous groups in North America and continues to be practiced by these people today, and is a foundation of many other conversation facilitation styles. For time, this is a highly truncated explanation of the history, structure, and importance of circle and restorative transformative justice. For further information, we recommend you learn from the organizations referenced here. And while such practices have proven to be effective in enhancing empathetic, community-oriented, meaningful communication, rarely do we see interface design informed by that knowledge. With this in mind, we ask how we might design a virtual environment informed by circle practice and knowledge of circle practitioners. And if we design that environment, might it foster an experience closer to that desired and circle than a traditional virtual call environment might? To answer this question, we first embarked on an ethnographic study and became trained in the practice. We then designed a tool informed by the practice and iterated and evaluated that design. And today we'll discuss the latter 2 points. Informed by this question, we identified high social presence, tone, and ease of communication to be structural components of circle that are not bound by the facilitator themselves, but could be bound by the environment. It is an important foundation for this project that we did not intend to replace the facilitator or to execute circle automatically, but rather to leverage the knowledge from the field of HCI and create a container informed by the practice of circle. To begin by breaking down social presence, we wanted to break the traditional Zoom grid of a video call and a conference call online. We also removed video as a component and explored the possibility that audio-only calls with abstract avatars could enable a more vulnerable and inviting conversation space. We then explored how folks might be supported with their avatars and sitting in a circle. And we explored how making that physical act of dragging and dropping the talking piece to your avatar could mimic the passing of a talking piece. We explored social presence as well through the use of light glowing within the avatars. And we grounded the tone in blues and violet hues to create a calming presence throughout the environment. All animations are calibrated to a slow, calm breathing rate. And we implemented features such as a cue, a raise hand to facilitate ease of turn taking. Further, we introduced a tool to signal a flag or a harm, as well as positive affirmation. Altogether, the platform offers a space to show visible guidelines, the cue, and questions that are offered, and the facilitator is shown through a darker avatar. We evaluated this study in 3 parts. First, a qualitative analysis with 72 participants, followed by a randomized control trial with 100 participants, and closing with a semi-structured set of interviews with 8 expert facilitators. From the qualitative study, they highlighted that the social anxiety from waiting to speak and awkward silences was nearly completely eliminated. The tool allowed them to listen actively. Participants highlighted that they felt close to the participants, though they could not see an image of the others. And many emphasized that this enabled the conversation to go smoother than it might in other video calls. From the randomized control trial, we see a significant increase in sense of ease and tone from the control to full treatment. We identify that specifically within tone, participants felt increased feeling of relaxation and calm, and increased willingness to be vulnerable and listen actively. Further, participants felt more connected to others. They felt the participants' presence further, and a specialness within the conversation more than they did when in a traditional audio call. Finally, through expert interviews, it became clear that facilitators saw this was clearly a conscious space and an intentional space. That Keeper did fill an identified need through introducing things such as the talking pieces and sitting in a circle, and that the space felt human, though it was abstract. However, a clear tension and critique arose, for it can be hard for facilitators to facilitate without being able to see the faces of participants, especially in moments of tension. In next steps, we are exploring how memory and data might influence the quality of conversations by making hidden dynamics more visible. This notably breaks from the clear inspiration from circle practice, yet could be valuable in making clear power dynamics and other inequalities that might exist within a conversation. As we close, we'd like to thank Dana Cunningham, Marshall Gans, and Belen Saldias for their contributions to this work, especially Belen Saldias, who built the foundation of Keeper. And we'd like to acknowledge the Restorative Justice for Oakland Youth, Unity Circles, and Suffolk Center for Restorative Justice, who enabled this project to happen based off of their teaching and wisdom. Thank you.